This drill completely transformed the distance that one of my students was hitting the golf ball. He went from hitting the ball 125 yards on average with his 8-iron to at the end of the lesson 155 yards average with an 8-iron. So a 30-yard gain in just one lesson. And all we did to achieve that gain was just teaching him how to properly create lag in the downswing and then how to deliver that lag into the golf ball efficiently. We did that through these simple drills, and then we made this good practice routine that immediately gave these results, and you can do it at home too. So what my student was doing at the beginning of the lesson, he was throwing his club away from him in the downswing. So that first move of the downswing, he was extending the club away, so creating zero lag. So when he was doing this, he was coming down, and what we would see, absolutely zero compression. We'd see him adding loft, and we would see this really weak, high ball flight, just like I showed there, with a ton and a ton of mishits, normally fat shots. Now, why that is because as soon as my student, as soon as, let's say you out there, if you throw away your lag and you just get that club moving too far away from you in that throwing movement, you now can't use your bigger muscles. Because one, you've started the downswing with your arms. So throwing that club, now you've elongated and made that swing wider coming down, and you have to make room for that extra width you've just created. The body won't turn, you're just gonna fat it if you do. So that's where your body would have to try and jump up, and that's exactly what we saw with my student. If there was a time where he could hit a good shot, he would have this little jump up to pull the club back out the ground again. Still, it would be high, still it would be inconsistent. Just like you could see for me, that it's just not that great. So we knew straight away, okay, if we could get his body moving in a better way, use those bigger muscles by creating better lag, I knew straight away we were going to gain a ton of distance from this lesson. So what we did to get his body moving and produce this better lag for these further shots is this progression of drills and practice routine as you're seeing here. So this teaches the exact move to do this functionally. So first and foremost, the top of the backswing going into the downswing. We needed to reverse what he was doing. We needed to have less arms and more body. So ideally, I want to see players get up to the top and have the hands and arms stay here whilst they turn the lower body and mid-torso. You doing that, turning that lower body mid-torso, having the hands and arms stay, it's going to put a force on that club and it's going to start to lag it. So transitional sequencing is so huge. So what we did straight away to train that was a good old drill of the channel, which is the resistance band drill. So where we grab a resistance band and we get it into a top of the backswing position. And then from there, because we've got resistance here, all we can do is turn lower body and mid-torso. Lower body, mid-torso, that's all we're doing, turning there. We can't do anything with our upper body, so we just have to turn lower body, mid-torso. That was a huge, huge drill for us because that straight away got us to where the sequencing was tremendously better. So after hitting shots with that, yep, he was a little bit better, lag was getting there, but there was still a little bit missing there. So this is where we got into the second bit, which is then how the body continues to move to be able to deliver that lag into the golf ball properly. So the second drill we did was with this towel. Now what this drill here is going to teach, it's going to teach you as soon as you start that downswing, getting that lower body mid-torso going, to continue this kind of spiraling motion of the body, keeping that lag there and turning through the shot in this good rotational manner. Lower body mid-torso going, and then the chest unwinding after going through the golf ball. So it's a really good one to maintain it here. So what we do, get a long towel, tape it together, and then put it on your back, top of the backswing position here, and I want you to turn in the downswing, but I only want this towel to leave your back going through impact. That's our movement. So that's going to get that good sequencing, and obviously just holding on to this really light and loose is going to teach that patient feeling. And it's going to get that sequencing really, really nice. So another one there, really important one. Boom, there we go. Now that really helps hugely to be able to get that sequencing and transition, but also keep it going in the downswing. So here we go. Go on, you can see straight away with me, how much further did that ball go? That's an incredible distance from that throwing the hands in transition. So really, really important. And then just repping it out from there. We saw some really good gains there. But what we did see after a while, we saw him not having a specific feel. and he just started to do it just a little bit. He started to throw it a little bit again. So the feel we created here, which is really the third point, which is touched a little bit at the beginning, was leaving the hands and arms up, feeling like they're almost paused here, and feeling like there's a ton of time in the world, and then turning. Almost feeling like we were turning into the left arm. So it's almost like we were turning into almost like the left armpit as we were going down, whilst the hands and arms are staying there. That then really created that lag coming down, and it was a great feel to bridge all of this together. So really having that feel there, turning into that left arm whilst the arms are staying up, really getting that good turn. Boom. As you can see there, that is a really good shot, and I'm hitting an 8-iron here too as well. Okay, so here now, this is our practice routine that he went away with, and when he said in his next lesson, God, I'll tell you what, he was a completely different golfer. So what was our first bit? And that was the resistance band drill. Really, really important. He got himself a resistance band. Any medium strength one will do. Gripping that up to an upright, turning lower body and mid-torso. So what he did this away from the golf course. So this was his way of practicing it away from the golf course with another drill. And he would do about 10 reps of these. And once he's done 10 reps, what would he do from there? He would go into the towel drill. So obviously he had to give himself some space so he can practice this at home, because obviously a very long towel, and then do the same thing. But he would only do 5 reps of these to continue that turn going through. So let's do 2 for the sake of the video. So that's going to keep that lag and deliver that lag nicely into the shot. So get that body spiraling nicely. And then what did he do again after that? He did another 10. And he repeated that process 5 times. And if he couldn't get to the range in a day, that was his practice for the day. That was all he was doing. But then if it was a driving range day, what he would do, he would bring the towel with him. Obviously get some funky looks at the driving range, but to be honest, if it's something that really helps your golf swing, I couldn't care less what people think of me when I'm hitting a golf ball and trying to improve. Because I know those people, they're bad golfers. They're going to stay being bad. Him doing this, he become a good golfer very, very fast. So, especially when you're hitting your 8-iron past most of their 5-irons. It's going to make them feel silly. But you're going to look silly doing it. It's all right though. So, what you want to do? Again, what we did with him, we made sure, again, 5 of these. Making sure we're 5. So 2 again for the video's sake. And then what we did there, we didn't go straight into hitting the ball. We just do 2 exaggerated feels at the top. Returning into that left armpit, leaving the hands and arms up, and then doing that exact same feel for 3 balls, only 3 balls. So once he hit those 3 balls, straight back again to the towel drill. Straight back for another 5 of those, and then again another 3. So another 3 again. Look at the distance of this afterwards. So again, those little practice rehearsals after or before the shot. Boom. Unbelievably good. And why we only had 3 balls was because we wanted the field to be fresh when we went into it. When we hit 4 balls, is something I see with all my students and myself when I practice. When it gets to about 4 balls, you start to lose the feel quite considerably. Feel the feel great for the first one, pretty good for the second one, yeah, okay for the third, 4, it's gone. So that's why stop after 3 balls, hit another, and then repeat that process for the entire length of practice you want. You could interchange that towel drill if you wanted to, even though that really teaches you entirety of the movement to deliver the lag. You can do adaptation of the first one, and that's getting your left arm pinning across the chest. Turning, obviously we're turning into that left armpit, and of course we're pinning our left arm back with our right hand, and that's going to get that same movement happening there. So again, doing those, I'd recommend 5 again, couple feels, hitting the shot, boom, hitting these nice balls. So very regimented, absolutely. That's the only way you can make changes in your golf swing at a decent rate. Golf swing only takes a long time to change if you're practicing wrong. Still be a little bit longer than most golfers would expect, but it doesn't take half a year to years to make a swing change. You just got to practice properly. Practicing like this will get that swing change into your golf swing very fast with this structure. This is what I use with all my students. Why my students make really fast progress is because of how we practice, regardless of really what they're doing with their golf swing. This is a great one for creating better lag, which is something you all out there struggle with. And all the work we did here with my student, it was done on Skillist. So it's online lessons. So there is a link in the description for online lessons. It takes you straight to my profile with all my information on there. My student, just like with the one you saw last week, is an unlimited lesson subscriber. So it's the best way to learn because we can do as much work as you possibly want with unlimited lessons. So online lessons, incredibly effective way to learn. As we can see here, makes a lot of difference. So if you enjoyed the video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction just like this. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.